Yo guys, it's Nick's Lotus.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Oh, stop it, come on. You don't mean that, come on. With some new keywords I've came up with for each 2-color guild. Let me know down below what you think and which one's your favorite. The Is It one is definitely mine, so stick around for that. Up first, we've got Azorius. The Azorius are the front line of law and order in Ravnica. Thank you. They run the court systems and detain those viewed out of control. For this controlling bunch, I've came up with the keyword warrant. Warrant is a keyword that says, when this spell resolves or this creature enters the battlefield, put X warrant counters on permanents an opponent control. When that permanent dies, whoever destroyed it draws a card. The example card I came up with is Rico. Rico is 3, a white and a blue for a sorcery, warrant 3. When it comes into play, put up to 3 warrant counters on permanents your opponents control. Then wipe the board. Board wipe, draw 3 if they're all creatures. Fits Azorius so well. Being able to enlist other players to help remove a problem card is just perfect for Azorius, and for a format like Commander, just fun. Up next, we've got Dimir. The Dimir are the Undercity thieves, rogues, and assassins stealing and pillaging weapons and cash off Ravnica residents. Dimir comes in with the keyword pickpocket. Creatures with pickpocket have, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, remove a counter from a permanent that player controls and put it onto a permanent you control. An example card we got is Assassin of the Quick Hand. It is a blue and a black for a 1/1 Death Touch pickpocket. When it deals damage to someone, remove a counter off a permanent they control, put it onto yours. These thieving rogues love to snatch your counters from you and make their evasive beauties bash face again. Up next, we got Rakdos. Cue the air horns. The party or die, the performers for the delinquents of Ravnica. For them, we've got Out in a Blaze. Out in a Blaze is a keyword that says, when this creature dies to combat damage, if excess damage was dealt to it, triggers some type of benefit. An example card I made is Unholy Demise, a black and a red for an instant. Creatures you control gain Out in a Blaze, deal 1 damage to any target. Keep in mind, it's not always deal 1. The Out in a Blaze trigger could be anything. Flood the board with aggro creatures with Out in a Blaze and get the best attacks or blocks in the game. Come on! Up next, we've got the saddest guild in Ravnica, Gruul. The Gruul were tasked with protecting the wild lands of Ravnica, but Selesnya said, nah, fuck that. We got it from here. And the Azorius made it legal for the Orzhov to enslave the Gruul. Pretty fucked up. I actually didn't know any of that happened. That's pretty messed up. The only survivors of the Gruul clan are either enslaved or part of a small outlier group out in the wildland. For them, we've got Adrenaline. Adrenaline is a keyword that says, when this creature dies, exile it and return it into play at the beginning of your next upkeep. It gains haste and trample, exile it at the end of the turn, or when it leaves play. For this, I've made Gruul Clan Survivor. It's 1, a red, and a green for a 4/2 barbarian. When it enters the battlefield, give another creature you control a +1/+1 counter, and it also has Adrenaline. So when this thing dies, it comes back into turn next turn with haste and trample and re-triggers its ETB effect. This keyword embodies the fight till our last breath mentality of Gruul and how they keep holding on by a thread in Ravnica's world. Keep on going, boys. Gruul! Gruul! Up next is the people that took the Gruul's jobs.
They took our job!
Yeah, Selesnya. Selesnya's keyword is Flourish. Cards with Flourish can be played as though they had Flash if you control 10 or more lands and or creatures. The example card I made for this is Malael of Shallow Stream. She costs 1 white and 3 green for a 0/6 legendary Dryad. Spells in your hand gain Flourish. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, create a 1/1 green cat token with First Strike. I'm actually kind of proud of this one because if you play her early, you can still play instants during their turn to start building up your Flourish counters. And if you already are Flourished and you have more than 10 lands and or creatures, you can just start popping off with this thing either way. Love the design, and I love that the color that normally doesn't have a lot of interaction has the option to have a bunch of interaction with Flourish. Up next, we've got Orzhov, the mobsters of Ravnica. They will blackmail and enslave to get that sweet, sweet moolah. Probably the most despicable guild out of the bunch. For them, we've got the keyword Shakedown. Creatures with Shakedown have, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, as long as it wasn't their only creature in play, trigger a specific effect. For example, we've got Syndicate's Hitman. 2 white and a black for a 1/2 human assassin with Shakedown, draw a card, and create a 1/1 white and black right-hand man token. So whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if it wasn't their last creature, you trigger that Shakedown. Love the concept of the last creature seeing all these other creatures around it get smoked. It kind of adds to the blackmail feel of the Mafia aesthetic that Orzhov has. Love it. Up next is It. I love this one. The It are the scientists and great minds of Ravnica, inventing ways to rewind time or heat up that burrito extra fast. They're an odd bunch. If there's one word that embodies It to me, it's chaos. So this keyword is called Pandemonium. Pandemonium is a triggered ability that activates until end of turn as soon as the stack has 3 unresolved spells in it. The example card for this is Niv's Guardian. 3, a blue, and a red for a 4/6 flying hexproof dragon with Pandemonium. Spells you cast this turn cost 3 less to cast. So whenever a third spell is added to the stack, this will trigger until end of turn. With all that spell slinging that It's doing and access to instants, you can easily hold priority and get the Pandemonium trigger on fairly fast. I figured this was a great way not only to depict their guild, but to teach new players a little about the stack. Up next is the grime-covered pet rat having ass Golgar. They're in the undercity of Ravnica, literally, living in sewers and swamps and using the dead as resources for their experiments. This keyword is a death trigger. We've got decompose. When a creature with decompose dies, draw a card and create a 1/1 green-black pest creature token with when this creature dies, gain 1 life. An example for this is Bastille Breaker. It's 3, 2 black, and a green for a 7/7 trample reach worm with decompose. When it dies, create 2 3/3 green worms with decompose. That's some reduce, reuse, recycle shit in the grossest way possible. Just right for Golgari. Up next, we've got the White Knights of Ravnica, the Boros. They are the guardians and defense of the weak in Ravnica. They also make up the war regiment and the defense for invading forces as well. For them, we've got the keyword Guardian. A creature with Guardian can block any number of creatures. For these guys, I've made Keeln Lantern of Hope. She is 2, 2 white, and 2 red. For a 5/5 flying, indestructible guardian. Best blocker around. And just like Boros to defend the shit out of me. Appreciate you. Lastly, we've got Simic. The Simic are about experimental science with nature. How do we make this frog have wings? How do we cure this disease but by encasing our patient in jelly? That type of shit. So for them, we've got the keyword Inherit. Creatures with Inherit have flying as long as you control a creature with flying. The same goes for Trample, Haste, Vigilance, Lifelink, First Strike, Double Strike, Indestructible, and Hexproof. That's Simic right there. For this, I made Elusive Trait Finder. A blue and a green for a 2/3 Merfolk Elf with Hexproof and Inherit. Solid early game drop that evolves over the course of the game. Wink, wink. Very, very Simic. Let me know if you guys have came up with any unique keywords to put into these guilds, or if you came up with one during this video, please let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know which one of these is your favorite, because I don't have to tell you to tell me which ones you hated, because y'all already do that. I absolutely love Pandemonium and Is It. Make sure to comment and subscribe. Much love, and go play some Magic, guys.